know how you need to persevere, nay, flourish in the great outdoors. There's no lasting, as long as they don't melt.
Unfortunately, chocolates and sweets
Without you. Not only that, sugar will essentially provide you with only short bursts of energy. That's going to be a problem if your survival adventure continues for longer than a couple of days. In order to maintain stable blood sugar levels on the go, which will keep your energy up for longer without crashing, you might want to reconsider rations made entirely out of chocky bars and jelly beans. In contrast to sugars, other body fuels like protein and healthy unsaturated fats take longer for the body to metabolize and break down, meaning the accompanying energy release is less extreme and slow energy release occurs over a longer period of time.
In general, ensuring you eat a balanced diet and eating smaller and more frequent meals, for example, can help prevent a sugar crash.
This is why hikers often carry with them something called trail mix, a nifty snack generally consisting of granola, nuts and dried fruits. While the dried fruits provide an energy boost as their simple sugars are rapidly metabolized and absorbed, the low-carb granola and nuts are filled with protein and mostly unsaturated fats, which break down more slowly for a more measured and sustained release of energy. Another good wilderness snack is dried meat, in the form of jerky or biltong. These completely dehydrated meats are ready to eat, bursting with protein and remain edible for months on end without refrigeration. Oh, what's that? You found a bag of trail mix and some beef jerky hidden away in a side pocket? Well, isn't that convenient? As you munch away on your serendipitous food supplies, you come upon another potential wilderness hazard, a river. With a vague direction in mind, you decide the river must be traversed, and with no nearby bridges or jungle vines to swing between, you set about selecting the best spot to make your way across. Common sense would suggest that the narrowest section of a river is the optimal crossing point, allowing you to wade through with the least steps.
You should cross a river at its narrowest point.
Think again. Though the narrower sections of a river may look like the easiest and quickest route across a river, they may actually be some of the most dangerous areas to wade into. And it's all down to the physical properties of flowing liquids, a realm of physics known as fluid dynamics. When a flowing liquid is concentrated through a smaller cross-sectional area, it is forced to move faster, producing a stronger current. To understand how this works, we can use this equation. The total volume of water that the river discharges per second does not change. So, at the point where the cross-sectional area of the river decreases, the velocity has to increase. This, in turn, can often result in deeper water, as the fast-moving river wears down the riverbed more rapidly than a slower one. Thus, the narrower points of a river often contain faster, deeper water that can sweep you away easier than you think. So don't be tempted to jump into rivers where they're at their skinniest. Generally speaking, you should actually be looking to cross at the widest section, for several good reasons. In contrast to water flowing through a narrow and constricted area, water that is able to spread out and disperse is consequently shallower and slower, and therefore far less powerful. The chances of you being swept off your feet are much lower, and even if you do fall over, the shallower water cannot carry you away or keep you under the surface. Not only that, shallow water gives you a far clearer view of the riverbed, helping you to navigate an uneven walking surface and avoid submerged rocks or logs that might be obscured or even completely hidden in deeper water. If the river splits into multiple channels, separated by sandbars or small islands, you can clamber onto them, so much the better. While we're at it, here's some bonus river crossing tips. Avoid crossing at bends in the river, as the strength of the current will not be consistent throughout its span. Never cross upstream from nearby rapids or waterfalls. If you do get swept off your feet here, you might end up going over them. And always remember that if you can't find somewhere safe to cross, don't. Our videos take around 300 hours of design, animation and editing to make possible. And before we even start animating, we have the research and writing phase, followed by script editing and storyboarding. And before that, I spend a fair bit of time coming up with the ideas and making sure they're a viable topic.
Basically, it takes a hell of a lot of time to make the content that we do.
And while we've had a bunch of viral successes in the past, the channel hasn't had much exposure over the last couple of years.
You might be thinking, but you guys always get sponsors on your videos. And that's true. But even with that income, we can't afford to keep making them the way we do.
So, we've launched our YouTube channel memberships. If you do appreciate our content and want to see us keep making our educationally entertaining animations, then this is your opportunity to support our work. By becoming a member, you will get access to previews and sneak peeks from upcoming episodes, and get a chance to see what goes into making our videos. So that the audience knows you're a loyal supporter, you'll also get Debunked designed loyalty badges, which upgrade the longer you support us, and bespoke emojis that you can use to show that you're part of the Curiosity Crew, or you're a dedicated debunker, or one of the Debunked Dream Team. We've also launched our merchandise shop, of which members will get an exclusive discount.
If you appreciate Debunked and the way we make our videos, then please consider joining us. Right, let's get back to our hero Stick and see how he's getting on.
Safely on the other side of the river, you continue your trek through the wilderness as the sun begins to go down. Eventually you realise that you're going to have to settle down at some point, and need to find somewhere to make camp sooner rather than later. This looks like a decent enough spot to settle for the night, but I thought...
A forest clearing is an ideal location to set up camp.
Well, you obviously haven't thought about the first of the 4 W's. The what, I hear you ask? Wind, water, wood, and widowmakers. Wind. Check that your site offers protection from the elements. While forest clearings may seem like an idyllic choice for a campsite in the light of a warm, dry day, a location that is out in the open will leave you exposed to changing weather conditions.
Find shelter in a densely forested area at a lower elevation. Even in the summer, exposure to wind and rain can result in hypothermia.
Next is the life-giving necessity, water. Ensure your camp is within walking distance of a fresh water source, but not so close as to risk flooding or to drown out any noises you may need to hear, like rescuers calling out. We've not long crossed the river, so I'll let you make the judgment on proximity. Dead standing trees, or widowmakers, so called because limbs or entire trees can fall unexpectedly and put a swift end to your survival scenario. So, assess your surroundings and make sure you're not setting up camp under any standing deadwood. Wood. While you need to avoid any tumbling timber, you'll need plenty of deadfall wood nearby to use for constructing your finest shelter, as you seem to be without a tent. Plus, with night falling, you'll want to build a nice cozy fire to keep you warm and protect you from all that nocturnal nature. Fearful of what could be peering at you hungrily through the trees, you figure that a large fire is guaranteed to scare away any potential predators waiting for you to lower your guard.
Building a fire will keep predators away.
Well, maybe, but also maybe not.
Campfires are certainly one way you can try to deter curious wildlife. But, as with a lot of wilderness survival advice, the reality is a touch more complicated.
Many different animals are known to hold a general fear of fire, making campfires a decent enough method of repelling them. Such species include rats, skunks, small wildcats, and many varieties of canid, like coyotes, wolves, and feral dogs. These animals are often particularly avoidant of fire when they are alone, weakened, or sick. In contrast, bears are naturally curious and inquisitive, and as opportunistic omnivores, bears that approach human encampments are usually just looking for something to scavenge. Small fires are generally not sufficient to scare them away. Indeed, bears that are used to encountering humans may well have realized that we often carry food with us, and might actually be encouraged by the sight and sound of a crackling campfire. Not only that, but cold-blooded animals like lizards, snakes, and other reptiles may be attracted to the warmth of a campfire, so keep a lookout for anything scaly you might see skulking around. So, when you're camping down for the evening, remember that a fire can repel some species, but attract others, and that most of the time, what these curious critters are looking for is food, whether that means your food or you. With that in mind, always remember to keep food stored away in airtight containers, and keep any food-related rubbish in odour-proof bags until you can dispose of it properly. Many animals are also attracted to the smell of number 1s and number 2s, so try to do your business away from where you plan to sleep. Lastly, if possible, bring pepper spray or a small air horn or a whistle to scare away hungry beasts. Feeling confident you have everything covered, you bed down for the night. You try to relax and get some sleep. As your eyes are getting heavy, you hear a rustling not too far away.